The Comanche tribes were very cruel and struck fear into the bones of all their opponents. The other tribes with whom they clashed developed an enviable and not a fear, which was especially manifested during the full moon, which was actually better known as the Comanche Moon, when they went on fearless raids during which they subdued captives from other tribes and took their cattle, horses, and other animals. The Comanches had very innovative torture methods for that era, and the ferrous sex played a large role in torturing captives. A particularly bizarre method of torture was burning alive, which they used on Mexican and American soldiers. They also knew how to castrate and scalp people while they were still alive. They tortured people even to the point of burying them alive. They would be buried in the ground up to their chins, their eyelids would be cut off, and then the starving sun would literally burn them. The Comanches would remove the captives' private parts and then put them in their mouths, which they would then sew up. Join us today as we look at savage, wild, intimate lives of Comanche tribes in details, and ask yourself, what if you lived the brutal lives of the Comanche tribes? The Comanche, a prominent Native American tribe, emerged as a distinct group on the vast plains of North America. Belonging to the Uto-Aztecan language family, the Comanche people played a crucial role in shaping the history of the American West during the 18th and 19th centuries. The Comanche originally resided in the Southern Plains, an area spanning parts of present-day Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Kansas. They were historically part of the larger Shoshone linguistic group before breaking away and establishing themselves as a unique cultural entity. The intimate lives of the Comanche tribes offer a fascinating glimpse into their cultural practices, social structure, and daily routines. Rooted in a nomadic existence on the Great Plains, the Comanche people developed unique customs that reflected their deep connection to the land, their reliance on the buffalo, and their adaptation to a changing environment. The Comanche were organized into bands, each led by a chief chosen for their leadership qualities. Chiefs played a crucial role in decision-making, guiding the tribe through the challenges of their nomadic lifestyle. The society was matrilineal, with kinship traced through the mother's line. This matrilineal structure influenced familial relationships and societal organization. The family unit was central to Comanche life. Extended families often traveled together, forming close-knit groups within the larger band. Family ties were reinforced through shared responsibilities, communal activities, and a sense of mutual support. Women played vital roles in domestic activities, including the preparation of food, tanning hides, and crafting clothing. The Comanche were skilled hunters and gatherers. Their primary livelihood depended on the vast herds of buffalo that roamed the plains. Buffalo provided sustenance in the form of meat, hides for clothing and shelter, and bones for tools. The Comanche developed efficient hunting techniques, such as stampeding buffalo over cliffs, to secure resources for their communities. Horse culture became integral to the Comanche way of life after the introduction of horses by Spanish explorers. Horses revolutionized their nomadic lifestyle, enabling them to cover large distances quickly and efficiently. This newfound mobility enhanced their hunting capabilities and facilitated trade and communication with neighboring tribes. Communication was paramount for the Comanche, given their interactions with various tribes and European settlers. They developed a sophisticated sign language to overcome linguistic barriers, allowing them to engage in diplomacy, trade, and alliances. This form of communication showcased their adaptability and resourcefulness in navigating diverse cultural landscapes. Spirituality played a significant role in Comanche life. They held sacred ceremonies to honor the land, seek guidance from the spiritual realm, and celebrate important events. The buffalo, central to their existence, held a sacred place in their spiritual beliefs, symbolizing abundance, strength, and interconnectedness with the natural world. As European settlers expanded westward, the Comanche way of life faced profound challenges. Conflicts arose over territorial disputes, disrupting their traditional practices. The introduction of new diseases further impacted their communities, leading to demographic decline. The untold Comanche secrets involve pre-adolescent gangs of boys serving as a special source of sexual knowledge and experimentation. Such groups of Comanche boys would attempt to lure young girls into the bush where they would try intercourse and other sex play contests. To determine the larger manhood, they would divide the proceeds according to clans and bet on champions who would attach a line to the manhood and drag a stone as far as possible. The erect manhood was highly prized, and pre-adolescent boys would pull on the pubic hair to stimulate growth and sometimes put on an irritating plant juice to make it swell. Both boys and girls seem to have graduated to heterosexual contacts at an early age, and societal recognition of this fact is afforded by the brother-sister respect avoidance behavior commonly initiated between the ages of 7 and 10. Comanche boys chased girls and openly tried to touch the vulva, and if a girl were caught, they might attempt intromission. Comanche boys of 6 or 7 would build little shelters in the forest and play house with girls of comparable age, lying with them in imitation of adult copulation. In many societies, this type of play imitative of domestic life seems to have provided initial sexual contact. Comanche boys of 8 or 9 were invited by pubescent and sometimes older girls to urinate in lieu of ejaculation. Before we continue with their nasty lives, let's look at other details about them. Step back in time to the captivating world of the Comanche tribe, where life unfolded within the unique embrace of teepee dwellings. These ingenious tent-like homes, crafted from sturdy wooden poles and weather-resistant buffalo hides, stood as architectural marvels. Imagine the spectacle: pyramidal sanctuaries adorned with flaps and openings, a seamless blend of form and function that rounded at the base and gracefully tapered towards an open smoke hole at the summit. Envision the nomadic rhythm of Comanche life, as these dwellings, spanning 12 to 16 feet in diameter at the base, rose and fell with the ebb and flow of their spirited existence. Within the confines of these hide-clad sanctuaries, buffalo hides played multifaceted roles, transforming into seating, bedding, and protective covers. In the heart of each teepee, a central hearth blazed, a focal point for both culinary endeavors and combating the chill of the plains. Perfectly tailored for the nomadic lifestyle, these dwellings not only provided shelter but also contributed to the well-organized layout of Comanche villages. Imagine a landscape where lodges lined streets and squares, creating pathways for the free movement of their revered horses. The culinary tapestry of the Comanche unfolded with a rich bounty of meats: buffalo, deer, elk, bear, and wild turkey, a true reflection of their deep connection with the natural world. Rooted in the fertile soil, the tribe savored spinach, prairie turnips, and potatoes, complemented by the wild symphony of herbs. Berries and fruits added a burst of flavor, while in times of scarcity, dried buffalo meat, known as pemmican, became a crucial source of sustenance. Adorned in the finery of their cultural heritage, Comanche men donned breechcloths, fringed buckskin tunics, and leggings, all harmonizing with warm buffalo robes. Warriors proudly displayed beaded, feathered war bonnets as symbols of courage and accomplishment, with eagle feathers standing tall and urban tails trailing behind. Their hair, worn in 2 long braids, was a testament to tradition. Meanwhile, Comanche women graced the plains in knee-length dresses and leggings, sheltered beneath buffalo robes. 2 thick braids, embellished with beads, framed their faces. Special occasions saw dresses adorned with intricate beadwork, painted with symbols reflecting family values, acts of bravery, and sacrifices made for the greater good. In this rich cultural tapestry, the Comanche left an indelible mark on history by introducing the hair pie breastplates, a distinctive fashion that rippled across the Great Plains and became a symbol of their enduring legacy. In the role of one of the Comanches, we had the incredible opportunity to witness the legendary Johnny Depp embody the character of Tonto. As is often the case in Hollywood films, his portrayal was far more exquisite and captivating than the reality of who the Comanches truly were. However, amidst the glamour and allure of the silver screen, we are reminded of the brutal nature of the Comanches through the harrowing story of Matilda Lockhart. For 18 long months, she endured unimaginable torture at the hands of this Indian tribe. Her experience was nothing short of surreal, transforming her into an unrecognizable figure. Just 16 years old and a young beauty, Matilda fell into the hands of the remorseless Comanches. They wasted no time in exploiting her in numerous ways, including violating her privacy. Months of agony passed as she became entangled in peace negotiations between the Indian chiefs and Texas authorities. It was during this time, in the year of Queen Victoria's marriage to Prince Albert, that Matilda was brought before the San Antonio Council House. The sight of her tore at the hearts of all those present, leaving them horrified. Witnesses, such as Mary Maverick, recalled the terrible state in which Matilda was found. Her head, arms, and face were covered in bruises and sores, her nose burned to the bone with both nostrils exposed and devoid of flesh. When Matilda was finally handed over to the authorities, she courageously shared the horrors she had experienced. Not only were Comanche women brutal to her, but they also set her body ablaze. Furthermore, the men who took pleasure in satisfying their lustful desires subjected her to hours of unspeakable torment. The toll of these atrocities was evident in Matilda's emaciated form, adorned with scars and burns. Matilda was not alone in surviving such unspeakable torture. Alongside her, 10 others bore witness to the brutal methods employed by the Comanches. Thankfully, Texas officials were able to free them all and, in doing so, imprisoned the Indian chiefs responsible for the abominable acts committed. The Comanche tribe was a force to be reckoned with in the Wild West. Their bloodlust was on full display during one of the most brutal raids in the history of the region. The author of the book Empire of the Summer Moon, A Seed Wine, had nothing but critical words about this tribe. They were portrayed as a savage and uncivilized tribe that committed unimaginable atrocities. However, from a different perspective, the Comanches were just doing what came naturally. They intimidated their enemies and showed every day that they were no joke. They behaved as if they were possessed by maddened demons, but they did it all consciously and with a certain intention. The logic of Comanche rage was straightforward. They wanted to achieve a certain intention. Everything that was seen as a horror by other people was just part of the daily routine of the Comanches. The raids, the torture, and the murder were all done with a clear intention. The Comanches showed that they were not to be taken lightly, and their behavior was a constant reminder of the dangers that lurked in the Wild West. In the end, the Comanches were not spared from the terrible methods of torture that were inflicted upon them. The captive women were gang-raped and babies were killed if they were captured alive. The Comanches were portrayed in a much different way in the film Lone Ranger, in which Johnny Depp played the character of Tonto. He was a member of another Indian tribe that was extremely peaceful, but he became a member of the Comanches. The Comanches were depicted in the film as victims of the exploitation and brutality of the settlers who enslaved the Indians and their environment. We learn almost nothing about what the Comanches were really like in the film. Depp agreed to portray the tribe in a much more appropriate way, even though their behavior was far from sympathetic. The Comanches arrived in San Antonio and realized what was in store for them, and they did not want to surrender without an arrow being fired. The cowboys answered them in the right way, and on that occasion, they killed 35 Comanches, dozens of them were wounded, and many more were captured. The Comanches were a formidable tribe that left a lasting impression on the American West, and their legacy continues to resonate to this day. In the turbulent saga of the Comanche-Texan relationship, a chilling chapter unfolds, marked by a bloodthirsty pursuit of revenge. The backdrop, a supposed exchange of prisoners with the Texans, a diplomatic overture met with the Texans' adamant refusal. What ensued was a macabre dance of vengeance, where the Comanches, fueled by a primal rage, unleashed horrors upon their foes until the last echoes of life faded away. Under the unforgiving gaze of the full moon, the high plains bore witness to a grotesque spectacle. Children and young women, stripped naked, were pegged out beside a malevolent campfire. Their fate? A nightmarish sequence of skinning, slicing, mutilation, and finally, the searing embrace of flames, all orchestrated by vengeful women determined to extract the last shriek and convulsion from their agonized victims. Among the victims, a haunting figure emerges, the 6-year-old sister of Matilda Lockhart, a name forever etched in the annals of horror. The terrible cries of the tortured prisoners pierced the night, a symphony of agony orchestrated by the Comanches, formidable warriors known as the Lords of the Plains. In their quest for dominance, the Comanches had conquered vast expanses, earning their title through sheer prowess. However, their reign of terror faced an inevitable reckoning. As settlers migrated towards the vast expanses of the American South in the late 18th century, the Comanches, once untouchable, found themselves challenged. Their formidable adversaries, armed with a determination to settle and expand, overcame the Comanches' brutal methods. Yet, the Comanches had left an indelible mark on history, having nearly exterminated the Apache, once renowned as the world's most successful horse warriors. The Comanche supremacy over the Apaches stemmed from their unparalleled adaptation to warfare on horseback, a skill acquired when Spanish Mustangs from Mexico entered their world. Horses transformed the Comanches from a primitive tribe to conquerors of vast territories, spanning 250,000 miles. They thwarted Spanish colonization, seizing riding horses, livestock, and exchanging them for weapons. However, the devastation lay not just in their conquests, but in the brutality they unleashed upon both animals and people. The Comanches, driven by a relentless need for revenge, employed horrific methods of torture, mirroring the pain inflicted upon their tribe by settlers. The brutality extended beyond mere retaliation. The Comanches, known for their loose societal order, unleashed violence on an unprecedented scale. Men, women, and children were not spared. The line between warfare and atrocity blurred as both settlers and Comanches engaged in a gruesome dance of death. The annals of history, narrated by survivors and chroniclers like T.R. Fernbach, bear witness to the darkness that unfolded. A Comanche attack on the Parker family stands as a haunting testament to their brutality. Fathers and sons perished before the eyes of their kin, and the Comanches, elusive as shadows, refused capture at any cost, choosing death over captivity. In the echoes of their brutal legacy, the Comanches stand as a chilling reminder of a time when revenge knew no bounds, and the High Plains bore witness to the relentless clash of two worlds. Dive into the weaponry and rich cultural practices of the Comanche tribe, a force to be reckoned with on the vast canvas of the Great Plains. Their arsenal boasted bows and arrows, stone ball clubs, dual bone clubs, hatchets, spears, lances, and knives. On horseback, war shields became a dynamic defense, swirling in tandem with the thundering hooves. With the arrival of white invaders, the Comanche adapted, introducing rifles to their formidable armory. Yet, their strategic brilliance extended beyond weaponry. Crafting intricate maps became an art, guiding war parties through the intricate landscapes of their adversaries. The Comanche, famed for their nocturnal prowess, executed strategic attacks under the enchanting glow of a full moon. Their extraordinary skills on horseback became legendary, weaving a tapestry of fear and awe on the battlefield. Rooted in animism, the spiritual core of the Comanche tribe embraced the belief that the universe and every natural element held a soul or spirit. Manitou, the Great Spirit, held sway over their beliefs, connecting them to the profound energies of the natural world. Mastering the art of horsemanship, the Comanche possessed the greatest herds of mustangs, employing ingenious methods to capture and tame these majestic creatures. By the 1800s, they emerged as major distributors of horses to other tribes and settlers. Much like their warriors, their horses were adorned with war paint, a vibrant symbol of victory after battles. A triumphant Comanche warrior, in the aftermath of conquest, would paint his horse, creating a vivid tableau visible to the tribe from a distance. In the realm of rituals, the Comanche's commitment to an afterlife of honor and distinction was paramount. When a warrior passed, his ponies journeyed with him. His favorite horse, adorned in regalia, met its end at the grave, ensuring the warrior departed for the afterlife in proper mounted splendor. These rituals echoed through time, capturing the essence of the Comanches' deep connection to both the physical and spiritual dimensions of their existence. Rituals and ceremonies embraced by the Comanche tribe and various other native Indian nations of the Great Plains. Among the spiritual rites, the Sweat Lodge ceremony, the Vision Quest, and the Sundance ceremony held profound significance. At the heart of these sacred gatherings, the ceremonial pipe, known as the calumet, took center stage. Richly filled with tobacco, the calumet passed among participants in all sacred Comanche ceremonies. Beyond its aromatic essence, the calumet held a dual purpose. It served as a symbolic tool for sealing peace treaties, earning the moniker Peace Pipe. However, its significance stretched further, as it played a role in offering prayers during religious ceremonies and war councils alike. The annals of Comanche history are adorned with the names of illustrious leaders and chiefs, such as Chief White Eagle, Chief El Sordo, Buffalo Hump, and Quanah Parker. Each name echoes through time, a testament to their influence and leadership within the tribe.